Hey guys, Chelsea from Attention to Details, and today in the shop we are working on this 2008 Volkswagen Rabbit for my customer. This is actually the second time that I have detailed this vehicle. We actually saw this last March where we did a quick polish, we applied a ceramic sealant, we did an interior detail. Customer was so happy with what we were able to do. He said, can you do the exact same thing again? Now you don't want to polish a vehicle every single time you have it detailed because you only have so much paint. Polishing is essentially abrading off the paint to basically remove any sort of defects that are on the paint, be it oxidation, swirls, and scratches. But eventually you're going to run out of clear coat and burn through your paint. So we have to be cautious with what we do. But the biggest issue is that the customer had some scratches on the hood. I don't know if it was rust starting to kind of bleed through the clear coat or tree sap that had etched into it. Let me show you what we have going on and how the customer tried to fix it himself. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do, and he said he saw that he was doing damage, but he didn't stop. He just kept going. He's like, I'm not sure why I didn't stop. You can tell this is just, this is gonna be interesting. So for the most part, he basically did some wet sanding. It looks like the customer, in the year that we've seen it, tried to do some things himself. He is an older customer, but it looks like he made the issues worse. Looks like we do have some water spotting issues. This vehicle is stored outside. So what we're gonna actually be doing is a rinseless wash on this exterior. It's not that dirty. We do have a fine layer of dust on the exterior, but we're going to do some pre-soaks. We're going to make sure we pre-spray everything with our rinseless wash. We're going to do a clay towel treatment. We're going to polish the vehicle, try to remove the water spotting issues and the defects on the hood, and then we're going to apply a ceramic sealant on the exterior. He does have quite a bit of brake dust on these wheels in the inner wheel barrels. So we can do our rinseless wash on our tires, wheels, and wheel wells. We're going to do our rinseless wash on the paint, do a clay towel treatment, polish, and then apply our sealant. So we're doing all of that inside because we've now shifted into winter detailing. It is 47 degrees outside, 55% humidity. It's actually supposed to rain today. So it is 64 in the garage and climbing. We're gonna work comfortably here in the garage, but I don't have any sort of drains. I don't have the ability to wash vehicles with a hose inside. So for those of you that maybe you have a garage that you want to detail in the winter, we're going to share with you guys some tips on how you can still get professional level results in your garage without a drain. So let's get to work. So we have our bucket with our rinseless sponge set up. We also have a detailing keg that we're going to be using to blast the dirt off. We're going to be using the McKees 37, their N914 rinseless wash. This is their updated version. We're going to be using it at a 256:1 dilution ratio. So we're going to put 3 ounces in our detailing keg and then put the lid on so we can pressurize it. This is a unit I picked up last year from the detail guy, Scott Graves, so I haven't worked with it much. I'm excited to work with it more this winter.
What am I doing? It is impossible to get this on. What am I doing? Good God! Get out of my way. There we go!
Okay, so y'all want to save yourself some sanity. Hold it like this, drop it in, then wiggle it over, center it, and snap it. Save you some sanity. Now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and fill the tank up. I'm using my Ryobi battery-powered tire inflator. We want to fill this to at least 60 pounds so that we have pressure to be able to use the detailing keg. And since we have about 1.5 gallons in here, 256:1, a little bit of extra juice. I'm just going to get our sponge soft with our rinseless, get our clay towel in there, and let's get started. This is the first time we've had to use the keg this winter. And you might be thinking, Chelsea, you don't have a drain. It's okay. I have a mop. We're going to use a mop at the end. This is just getting the dirt softened. Some of it will fall into the ground, and that's okay. And in fact, rinseless wash is a great way to clean my garage floor. We've got this in my dolly. So we can just wheel around the vehicle. Bird poop on the roof. We're just gonna hit that for a second. Just kidding, I'm not gonna scream. But I could if I wanted to. This thing's got some pressure. And you're gonna be surprised how quickly we can get a wash and a decontamination done on our vehicle. So it is 12:33 on my clock. We're gonna go into time lapse and see how long it takes for us to do a wash and clay towel on this vehicle. So I always start at the top and work my way down around the vehicle. We'll do our roof, then our glass, then we'll work panel by panel around the vehicle. You want to go in straight lines, not scrubbing aggressively because we've softened all of the dirt when we did our pre-spray. Once we are done going around the entire vehicle with our sponge doing our rinseless wash, we're going to come in with our clay towel. This is very gentle on paint, but we also have that rinseless wash as a lubrication to help prevent marring. Even if we get some light marring, that's okay because we're going to be polishing at the end. But this is a quick way to do a wash and decon. Take a look at the clock, guys. 12:39. It took me 6 minutes to wash and decontaminate. Now we're going to go ahead and dry it. And if you wanted to make it a wash, clay, and seal, this is where you would just spray your protection down, dry it, and you're done. You've done a wash, clay, and seal in 10 minutes, maybe 11. If you want to make sure you have no drips. Now, you might be saying, Chelsea, that wasn't the safest wash. You scratched the paint. You should have done your rinseless wash, then dried it, then did your clay towel treatment. If the vehicle was ceramic coated, I wouldn't have done the clay towel treatment. If the vehicle had fresh protection on there, I probably wouldn't have needed to clay towel it. But realistically, we're going to be polishing this. I'm not worried about marring. So you have to use common sense, understand the situation. Those that, get all caught up on stuff like that, it really is going to come down to sometimes technique and as well as how particular you are about being safe on the paint. But as you can see, this is the extent of the puddling on my garage floor. And I can take my shop mop and just quickly mop it up. And it also cleans my garage floor at the same time. So these tires and wheels, they're not extremely bad. More than anything, I just want to try to remove some of the browning off of the tires. And then we can do a rinseless wash on our wheel faces. My original plan was just to clean my tires, do a wheel face cleaning, and then wipe everything off with a microfiber, but they needed a little bit more deep cleaning, so we're going to do an experiment. We're actually experimenting. A friend of mine sent me this. This is like a shower head nozzle for a pressure washer. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. Oh, that is fun. I mean, that made a mess, but I can easily clean that up. Woo! That's fun. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, that's gonna be awesome for tires and wheels. And guys, I don't care if it makes a mess. I have old towels that I can put down to clean it up. That just rinsed my tire beautifully. And now I have fresh rinseless wash on my wheels. This is awesome. This is kind of what excites me about detailing. Sometimes being able to try something new and find a solution to a problem that I had. My biggest issue with winter detailing is this area right here. And we just did a rinseless wash on these wheels. We did a rinseless wash on our tires. Might go through some microfibers, doing it this way. Might go through some drying towels. And it doesn't have to take all that amount of time. Done. That couldn't have been easier. Woo! This right here, this bit right here is going to be amazing for me to do tires and wheels in the winter time. We're just gonna definitely need like some junky old drying towels just to kind of sop up, because we're definitely going to be putting down a lot more moisture that way. But detailing keg with a shower nozzle tip, I'm gonna put the link to everything down below for those that want to try this to do tires and wheels. You can rinse it without a hose. That's fun. And it's not like crazy high pressure. I could control it. It just gave me a direct shower. Ha! Awesome. So this took me 5 minutes per tire and wheel. Clean our tires with Vonix Elite. Have our brushes soaking in the rinseless wash. Clean with Meguiar's non-acid wheel cleaner. Use a drying towel to mop up, or use your wet dry vac. Do a quick wipe with a microfiber. Done. So now we're going to address the elephant in the room, and this is why you are all here. Let's just face it. We're going to actually be testing out the new Detail Co. Endgame. Eddie has hyped this up beyond imagination. He said it corrects like 3D1, but wipes off like 3D Speed, which I love both of those, but I hate how 3D1 is difficult to wipe off. I love how 3D Speed is like butter to remove, but at the same time, it doesn't do much in correction, has fillers within it, so it's not true correction. He said that this is the best of both worlds. So we're going to be trying it out with their blueberry pad from Detail Co. We're going to be using my 15mm corded polisher from Car Shield. Absolutely love this. We've got our light on the side from Buff Bright, so that way we can see the paint as we are finishing down. And we're going to even go a little bit further back. We're using our Pro Lock. One of the things I hate most about corded polishers is that sometimes the plug comes undone and then you have to put it back. This is a lock mechanism. I'm not going to be able to pull that out unless I pull this back. We're going to do 4 pea-sized drops. And we're going to, technically 5. We're going to do this section together. See what kind of correction we can get. So we're going to spread this over the panel, and then I'm going to show you in real time what my arm speed is while we're using this for just a second, and then we'll go into time lapse because you guys don't want to watch a minute of me polishing. But this actually had really nice long work time. I wasn't throwing a ton of polish all over the place. We were able to do 2 passes, and I could see that we probably had 2 more passes before this product would even consider drying up on me. So nice long work time. We technically had 2 passes with this. Some would say that this is 1, because some people will say up and down, side to side is 1. I count that as 2. We got smooth as butter wipe off. And holy cow, guys. That looks fantastic. Now, he must have gone to town with 2000 grit sandpaper, maybe even more coarse right here. So we might have to step it up on this spot with their wool pad, which we have right here. Speed 5 pounds of pressure for 5 seconds. We're gonna go over that one time real quick just to make sure we don't have marring. We don't want to burn through by chasing that, because I can already see where we kind of have a high and low spot from where the customer went to town with sandpaper. What the heck was he doing? So this is the spot right here, and we can still see some scratch marks where the customer just went to town. It's pretty aggressive. But if we were to step back and look at the spot that we just corrected, our blueberry pad cut through the minor defects that we have, but 2 quick passes, and we were able to remove 95% of the defects. You tell me, would that pass in your eyes? Because for me, with a 1-step polish, 2 passes, that right there, Eddie, I believe it. It corrects better than 3D1, I would say, with 2 passes, and it wiped off like a dream. That's everything I can ask for out of a polish. It's going to be pad dependent what kind of correction you get, but if you're looking for a quality 1-step, that blueberry pad, 2 to 3 passes, we probably could have taken it longer. It wasn't drying up on us. Notice I don't have any dust on my adjacent sections, so no dust whatsoever, easy wipe off. That right there is a winner of a compound. Let's call it a hybrid because it can polish and compound, so we should probably call it a hybrid polish. Ooh, yeah. So on this VW paint, we definitely marred. So this is what that looks like up close. Yes, we have some micro marring. And for those that always say, what does that mean? Well, this is what our paint looked like before. Holy crap, that's intense. This is Hologram City. You can see where the customer used some sandpaper or Brillo pad. It looks like all over the vehicle, but especially on those areas where he had some bumps. But we were able to correct all of that damage, but either our pad or our polish didn't finish down properly enough. My job as a detailer is that when you look at the panel with the light hitting it, you should see clarity. You shouldn't see all that micro marring. So I either need to do a 2-step, charge a customer accordingly, but that's not in his budget. He wants me to do 1-step. What we're probably going to have to do, there's no way I'm going to correct this with a 1-step. I have to do a 2-step to remove the amount of damage here. And we're probably going to have to charge a little extra because of it. But the rest of the vehicle, you can see it's not as bad as the hood, but we do have quite a bit of swirls. I would say medium swirls on here. We've already polished it once before, so that tells me chasing paint perfection in this moment is not realistic because in a year and a half, the customer's already kind of gotten it back to where it doesn't look like we've polished it at all. It is an older vehicle. We had some oxidation already on the paint that we had to remove, so that says to me that we just need to, more than anything, bring back some gloss, remove whatever oxidation might be occurring on the paint, and just make sure whatever 1-step we use finishes down properly. So many of you might have a different approach, but for me as a detailer, this is conservative. This is me making sure that I'm not setting this customer up for issues in the future. But obviously, the biggest issue is that we got to address all of this. So we will do a 2-step on our hood, a quick gloss enhancement on the rest of the vehicle, and I'm impressed so far with what our blueberry pad was able to do as far as 2 quick passes to correct. We're going to try the baby blue pad to see if pad dependent wise we can finish down a little bit better. So let's go ahead and test that out. It's better, but it's not 100%. I'm not looking for paint perfection. I just want to make sure we remove that marring. And more than likely, we're going to need to use a white foam pad, Optimum Hyper Polish. That's normally my go-to to remove marring when we have it on the paint. So let's go ahead and see if that helps. Not as easy of a wipe off as Endgame, that's for sure. But now, when we look at our light, we don't have micro marring. We just see nice, crisp clarity. It didn't perfect the paint. It didn't remove every defect that was on the paint. We still have some mild swirls, or some of our heavier swirls that are now mild swirls. but we don't have all of that micro marring left behind. So we're gonna do our blueberry pad here, follow up with our Optimum Hyper Polish. We'll play around with that, but we're gonna go ahead and get this corrected. Because this paint was soft and finicky, we ended up using Optimum Hyper Polish and the white foam pad on the rest of the vehicle to do our paint enhancement. That's what we needed, our white foam pad. There you go. It's not 100% of the defects removed, but we finished down with clarity. Once we were done polishing, we did a panel prep wipe and then applied the ceramic spray sealant from Clean. We'll be doing a dedicated video review on that in the future, so stay tuned for that. But here's the finished result of our rinseless wash, decontamination, and paint enhancement for our customer. He was really happy with the end result and said he definitely learned a valuable lesson to next time just maybe bring it to me to address those issues. But hopefully you enjoyed this closer look at how I detail in the winter. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future details. But we will see you guys in the next detail.